Hello guys, it's me. Finally, I'm actually getting to record something. I'm having to record this on a separate profile. I was lucky there are 3 profiles on this computer, and then my mother has a profile on this computer, and she never uses it. Because my profile doesn't let me log on past like 9 p.m. I think, and it's like 11:30 p.m. And for some reason I can't log on to my dad's profile, which is the admin profile. So I'm stuck with my mom's profile. Don't even say it. Anyway, not gonna go further into that. Today I'm gonna be recording. What? Well, I am obviously recording, but today I'm going to be reading a fanfic by. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. It's not his name. I'm just not gonna try to pronounce it. I probably shouldn't have said by. I never say who the author was in the video itself. I usually say that in the description. But this is To Be Unknown. I believe it was featured on FinFiction like maybe a week ago or so. I have no idea. Whenever I added it to my read later. But I read this a few days ago. It's strange. It's hard to explain. You can't really explain it. You have to read it. Anyway, let's get on with this. Here is the description. Are there secrets which cannot be understood by mortal kind? Twilight wanted to prove Celestia wrong. She wanted to be worthy of her praise, to exceed masterfully where others had failed. To do so would cement her place in history as one of the greatest mares to have ever lived, immortalized as Princess Twilight Sparkle. Instead, Twilight discovers that no matter how great one's mind or powerful their curiosity, there are some things that were never meant to be known. And the chapter's title is The Mare Who Understood. And they shall know that in the end, or was it the beginning, or perhaps somewhere in between, that they would know at last that their essence, the sum of their thoughts, their hopes, their emotions and beliefs, and basis of their knowledge, was all for naught in the grand scheme, that even their insignificance was inconsequential within the maw of insanity. But of course, still, you wish to know. They all do. It is in their nature, our nature, that primal curiosity that forces them to seek out their own terrible fates, and you have willingly wished it upon yourself, and I cannot determine if it is merely folly or a cruel byproduct of something more. But this is why they wished to know, is it not? For the sake of something more, because there is always more. Even if there has never been, and might never be, there is always more. They thought that I was mad when I told them. I tried to warn every pony, I really did. When I looked upon what I could not have, what no pony could have seen, I saw it. I did so much more. When Princess Celestia personally beseeched me to abandon my research, to cast away everything I had sacrificed so much for, I wish I would have grown angry. I wish that I had obeyed, like the weak vassal in flesh that I was before. No, I grew all the more curious. To be on the verge of something just beyond the veil of the mundane that I could almost understand, something so utterly impossible that it would alter everything I thought that I knew. I needed to know. I suppose that's equine nature, our downfall, our inherent curiosity as sentient beings. It burned in me so painfully, even though I tried to listen to her. I really did. For nights on end, I was left sleepless. Spike began to worry. I miss him sometimes. I think I do. I don't know if I can feel things like that anymore. It tormented me like nothing I had ever experienced. That endless, horrible need to know, when it was so close. I knew that it was close, and I was right, even though it was something that no pony should ever know, because even the comprehension of such a thing would break their minds. I thought myself above those other ponies, of course. I thought myself of higher caliber than those that had failed. After all, what is failure if not a symbol of incapability to adapt and understand? And therein lay my greatest and fatal flaw. Not that I believed myself better than those before me, but that I could understand what they could not. I could understand what even Celestia herself could not, if I tried hard enough, and I did. I cast a spell, I looked upon it, and I implicitly understood. Maybe this is what she so desperately warned me of. Sometimes I wonder if she knew all along that I could comprehend it, that it would worm its way into my mind if I so much as thought of it. And that's all one really has to do. That's the scary part. I didn't even need the spell, even though I spent so much time that even the bonds of friendship couldn't endure, developing it. I feel so silly now, so silly that I didn't need it. No pony does. All you have to do is think about it. One doesn't really have to comprehend it. No, that only makes it worse. If you think about it, if you think of it even once, then it's already too late. But I did more. I did so much more. I did what no pony else could do, because it was something that no pony ever should have done. I knew. I saw. I understood. Have you ever seen a circle with 70-degree angles? Of course, you would say that there is no such thing, because there isn't. But there is. I've seen it. I know. I understand it like I understood everything else. Or maybe I'm just delusional, and believing that I can comprehend is the only fashion of coping that I have left. That might make a little bit of sense, but if I truly believed that I understood, of course it would. I doubt my own doubts. I have ever since I looked. It was only for a bare moment, maybe not even that. A single picosecond. Not enough time for the neurons to fire, yet an entire eternity that I looked, and it looked back, and I understood. With every single painful, terrible passing moment, it devours me. They don't see it, of course they don't. They didn't look. They never saw. They will never see, and I pity and envy them all at once. I think Celestia saw. Or maybe she only dreamed a whisper of a shadow of a thought, and was wary enough to stay away, to not even think of it subconsciously. Because that's how it got me. That's how it gets every pony. It's there. It's always there. Sleeping and watching, always just beyond the subconscious and ready to embrace you. Such a horrifying thing. Such a tender and loving touch that never lets go. Do you know what is inconceivable? There is really no such thing as that. There is only more that cannot be understood yet. I still feel it, too, like I could understand, if only I tried to look a little harder. And I do, I really do. Every day, every hour, every minute I reach for it, and it doesn't reach back anymore. It only eggs me on further, and I follow so abhorrently to find it, to understand more like I should that they deemed it necessary to never let me out again. I would miss the sight of the sun, if I could feel things like that anymore. They tried to keep my hooves still, but I proved them wrong. I was stronger, I was smarter. My eyes could see it first, and theirs couldn't. Not until I took their eyes, not until I made them see so that they would believe me. Now they can't see at all. I don't see either, but I still see. Celestia cried for me, or maybe she cried for herself, because she was too afraid to see. She was only afraid at first, until I showed her. Now she's right here with me. Or was she never here at all? I'm not crazy, I swear I'm not. They are, though. They're all mad for not seeing. Sometimes things are, and sometimes things are not. On occasion, it's somewhere between. I still understand, I still comprehend and know, no matter what. You can understand like I do, if only you tried a little harder. If only you gave into that burning desire to understand that draws us all a little closer to that abyss of endless knowledge. I didn't even need the spell. No pony really does. Spike didn't. But Spike didn't understand. He didn't even try. He only screamed and screamed and screamed. He kept right on going until I had to make him stop. Now he understands. You could understand if you tried. You're thinking about it right now, aren't you? You are just beginning to wonder, just like I did, that maybe, just maybe, somewhere deep beyond what you can comprehend, that maybe what might be incomprehensible could tickle you behind the eyes, and that you watch all of everything until the knowledge of it made you break your own teeth from the frustration of never knowing fast enough. You could know. You could understand. And all you have to do is think about it. Please, in this moment of clarity that might not be, that only I can hear, for Celestia's sake, please don't know. Even though I know it's already too late, please don't think about it. It doesn't really matter if you think about it or not. By now, it's already found you. It's watching through what you know, what you think, what you dream and understand. Even if you don't know, you are known. Just don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't understand it and drag yourself into the gnashing mouth of wonderful, liberating madness that even Discord shied away from. I tried to show him that it was perfect for him, that he could stop crying. I understood when every pony I could find understood. I made them all see when they wouldn't listen, when they told me that I was a liar and a lunatic because they didn't understand, they didn't know. Now they know. I understand why they know. I understood. I really did. Well, that was creepy. I mean, it may not be as creepy the first time you listen or read it, depending on if you read it and then listen, or listen then read, or whatever, but this is my second time reading it. I just realized that this is extremely creepy. Like, the first time I didn't understand it at all. It was like, what does this mean? The second time I knew, obviously, when I just read it now, I knew that it was confusing, and I just, I realized that it was really creepy, like creepier than I had realized it was the first time. But the intention of keeping it whatever that thought was, whatever she understood, the idea of keeping that obscured is actually a really good idea, because this is in the first person from Twilight's point of view, and she's trying to avoid telling whoever's reading this what it is, so that they don't go insane or something. A few sentences, I'm not sure what you meant, or I'm not sure what the author meant, and I was a little bit confused. So, if this reading's inaccurate to what, I pronounced that word oddly, inaccurate to what the author meant, I apologize for that, but I corrected it as best as I can. I assumed a few times that he meant one thing, he may have meant another thing, I have no idea. But I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I'm going to edit this on my own computer because I'm tired and want to be able to do things on my computer. So, till then, this is me signing out. Peace!